The BMW 3 Series has defined the sports sedan segment for so long, it almost seems like a foregone conclusion.
But Cadillac and Lexus both want to shed their non-enthusiast reputations, and they've introduced the new ATS and IS to crowd BMW's territory.
Can the F30 hang on to the sports sedan crown?
Or will one of these upstarts steal the keys to the kingdom? This is a 2013 BMW 335. This is actually kind of a hard car to find. I mean, with this latest generation of the 3 Series, the F30, it seems like most people are just buying the smaller turbocharged engine, the 328. But this is the 335 with the 3-liter twin-scroll inline 6. So it's the only turbo engine of these 3 cars.
What I'm so intrigued by are these 3 cars that represent 3 different continents, 3 entirely different approaches to driving. As a matter of fact, what's so interesting about all 3 cars in this comparison is that they're so similar in size to each other. They're also very similar in weight. All 3 of these are pretty expensive, and the BMW has the highest cost.
But that's actually not a strike against it at all, because it feels like the most expensive car here.
It's clear that designers had a big responsibility to adhere to the future BMW styling direction. Only a few details, as well as physical size, differentiate this car from its larger siblings.
But it definitely looks bigger than the E90, and the front end just looks pinched. Like they had a good front end design and then decided to make it squint. The tear duct additives to the headlights just increase this impression, and the whole nose just looks like it's been put in a vise.
I can't say this car is beautiful, but the surfaces and details are extremely well refined. You're not going to think it's anything else.
Inside, it's dark, luxurious, and an inviting place to be. BMW interiors have always been pretty staid, but this asymmetrical center console is a wonderfully distinctive piece.
I'm delighted to discover that iDrive has been improved to the point where I actually like it. The materials are ultra high quality and the leather and plastic textures feel rich.
The seats are wonderful, which is no surprise. One good thing about this increased size is this has the most room in the back seat. We're tall and our knees and heads still fit in the back of the BMW. What's crazy is this F30 is 4 inches longer than the E90 and 6 inches longer than the E46. I understand that across the board, cars in every market segment are just growing in size. But once this car is 6 inches longer than the E46, this 3 Series is now large enough that this should be the 5.
One area for me where this BMW wins hands down is the power. Unbelievable. This engine is the giant concert Marshall stack of power.
What's absurd is that this BMW has the lowest horsepower rating of these 3 cars. But of course the reputation right now is that BMW is underrating itself, and I do have to say, this is the most powerful 300 horsepower I have ever felt.
When you're hard on the throttle in this car, this thing sounds like a pack of feral monkeys under the hood. You can hear the turbos whistling and shrieking. And the power is matched to a transmission that is just brilliant. Of these 3 cars, the engine and the transmission take first place for me.
You put your right foot in this car in any gear at any time, it takes off like it's out of a different class of automobile than the other 2. In sport mode, it lurches forward. It's that constant just kick in the kidneys all the way up to kind of insane speeds.
The other thing this car has going for it are the brakes. Good initial feel, but they just get stronger and stronger. That sounds obvious, right? Here's the thing, the other cars are not like that. These brakes will pull your teeth out of your head.
Probably the most surprising realization of the 335 is the steering feel, because it's not as good as I would expect.
First of all, the steering ratio on this BMW feels good. It definitely feels like what BMW is known for. There's no dead spot. On center, there is constant feedback. It has the most road feedback and road feel, but it's not the most accurate.
Even in the sportiest setting, this car struggles with body roll, and that's quite shocking. I should never be able to put the words BMW and floaty in the same sentence, but in the F30, it's true. Mid-corner bumps kind of disrupt the BMW. It kind of throws you off your line because you feel the whole back of the car kind of float up on the bump.
Don't get me wrong, it's good, but I'm surprised because it isn't great. You don't feel like you can find the center of rotation, so you're constantly making adjustments. I feel like the chassis can handle more. It's just the steering and the suspension are letting it down. And here I thought the BMW was really going to be incredible, especially compared to these other two cars.
The steering has a great weight to it, which BMW has always done pretty well, and I do feel like I'm connected to the tires, but I don't feel as dialed into the chassis as I have in other 3 Series. I really want more precision with the steering, and I'm surprised when I chuck this car in how much body roll there is and how big it feels.
I kind of find myself liking the E90 series better. It's a little bit smaller car. I felt the weight transfer was better. Again, not that I don't like it. It's just that Cadillac and Lexus have brought the noise.
I'm so surprised and almost confused by these 3 cars because none of them are acting like their reputation would suggest. BMW invented this class of automobile, and I'm shocked to say that in many areas, this 3 has now lost.
So would I buy this car? That's the big question. I love BMWs. I love what they do, but I'm wanting more. If I'm gonna pay this much money for this car, I can't say that I'd buy it. I want more. I want it to do more.
If you're looking for a commuting cruiser or a high-speed blast or a car that feels luxurious to you, then the 335 is going to win. If you're looking for a precision instrument for back roads or for the track, the 3 Series isn't going to cut it.
Three different interpretations.
And they're almost identical in footprint. It's
yeah, they
shocking
are.
how similar
and
they are.
stats, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're completely different.